going to bring on my next speaker, Ilan Sobel. He's the CEO of BioHarvest, trades on the CAC in Canada, on the OTC markets in the US. Ilan, welcome.
Spencer, it's a pleasure to be here, all the way from Israel.
All the way from Israel.
All the way, just outside of Tel Aviv, Israel.
Hey, that's where all the good parties are. All right.
you know your cities.
Ilan, I believe you've got a presentation on the screen share. I'll bring that up when we right now. Tell us a little bit about BioHarvest.
Well, actually, I'm gonna, for the sake of time, I'm gonna move straight into the presentation.
Okay. All right. Great.
Because that's a great segue into my presentation. So thank you, Spencer. Okay. So good afternoon to everybody that's watching right now. My name is Ilan Sobel. I'm CEO of BioHarvest Sciences, and it's a real privilege to have this opportunity to share with you in 15 minutes some of the magic of our company. We as a company are at the eye of a storm of key trends that are really changing our world. We're at the eye of the storm of health and wellness as consumers have, as a result of what everybody's been through in the last 12 months with COVID, so focused on driving better health and wellness for themselves and their families. We all realize the role that biotech and food tech needs to play in the context of feeding the world and in the context of making the world a better place. And for us to make the world a better place, we all have to leave the planet that level better for our children and our grandchildren. And that's about a maniacal, purposeful focus on sustainability. So we as a biotech company, we are really anchored in the heart of the storm. And I'm going to share with you a little bit to understand exactly who we are and what we do. So who are we? We are farmers, but we're not just regular farmers. We are what we call new age farmers. And we're in fact biofarmers. You might be asking yourselves, what is biofarmers all about? Well, we farm in bioreactors and not in traditional greenhouses or conventional farms. And what we do every single day is we grow your wellness. But we do this in a very unique way. And we do this without having to grow the plant. We grow plant cells. We grow plant cells with critical active ingredients that the human body needs in order to survive. These include secondary metabolites like antioxidants, polyphenols, cannabinoids, cosmeceuticals, pharmaceuticals, as well as primary metabolites like proteins. And we do this with our patented biofarming technology that we have spent 10 years and $40 million developing this unique, innovative technology platform. And when we developed the platform, we realized clearly that nature is the perfect source. But today, nature acts as an inefficient, inconsistent, costly, and in many cases, contaminated factory of wellness. So what we do is we produce plant cells with these critical active ingredients that are identical to those that are originally sourced from the parent plant and have clinically proven health benefits. But we do this at massive industrial scale, and we're the only company in the world that can do this at this scale with a fingerprint consistency. We're able to increase the concentration levels of the critical active ingredients found in plants in our cells. And we do this with critically high bioavailability and efficacy. Importantly, what we do in our biofarming process is there are no contaminants or heavy metals. It is non-GMO. Yes, very, very important to emphasize this, non-GMO. And we can ensure when we grow our cells that we're able to take out critical elements that the human body does not need, like sugar and calories. And we're able to do this with unparalleled advantages for the environment. For example, when we grow our grape cells, one bioreactor is equivalent to 10,000 square meters of farmland. Our process requires the plant once, just once, to create the cells. And then we're able to access, from a manufacturing perspective, cells that are stored in cell banks in strategic countries across the world. So at our core, we are a plant cell growth company. And our way of farming, which we call biofarming, has technical application for many business verticals, addressing over $500 billion opportunity. The company today is focused on two verticals, one being superfruit nutraceuticals, and the second one being cannabinoids. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about our innovation that we're driving in each of these verticals. Let's first look at the superfruit nutraceuticals vertical. Our product that we're bringing to market, which is proof of concept of our unique biofarming technology, is called Vinia. Vinia is made of red grape cells and contains the entire matrix of polyphenols with an extremely high concentration of piceid resveratrol in its natural structure that has significant benefits for the body. Vinia contains piceid resveratrol from the skin of the red grape, in addition to 4 other types of critical polyphenols: tannins, catechin, anthocyanins, and quercetin. The Vinia concept is based on the French paradox, where we know that the French population generally has a very fatty diet, lots of lipids, lots of butter, lots of meats, but they have very, very good cardiovascular health. When the scientists understood exactly what was driving this cardiovascular health, they realized it was from moderate consumption of red wine, 2 to 3 glasses of red wine every single day, not 4 because it would have too much sugar and too much alcohol, and not 1 because not enough polyphenols. And when they understood what it was inside the 2 to 3 glasses of red wine, which was helping drive the overall positive general cardiovascular health, they realized it was a combination of piceid resveratrol and a number of other critical polyphenols. So we are able, through our biofarming process, to grow cells from the red grape with the critical piceid resveratrol. We're the only company in the world that is able to grow piceid resveratrol at an industrial and commercial scale, because we increase the concentration of the piceid resveratrol in our cells by 100 times more than how it is found in the grape. And together with the polyphenols, we have this very, very highly soluble and bioavailable powder. In one capsule of Vinia, it contains the same amount of piceid resveratrol. So one little capsule like this, Spencer, hopefully you can see it, contains the same amount of piceid resveratrol as 1 bottle of red wine, an equivalent to 1,000 red grapes, but importantly, with no sugar, no alcohol, and no calories. When we understand the power of the Vinia from an overall efficacy perspective, it's driven by the unique chemical structure of our piceid resveratrol, which is 25.5 times more water soluble than other types of resveratrol in the marketplace, which allows for significant dissolving of the piceid resveratrol into the consumer's intestinal tract, which then allows it to go quickly into the bloodstream. And when it goes into the bloodstream, which we call bioavailability, we see that with VINIA, we have very quick entry into the bloodstream, 20 minutes, a peak at 1 hour, a peak at 5 hours, and then it's long lasting for 12 hours. And because of these unique properties of its solubility and its bioavailability, through our science, we have conducted multiple clinical trials or published in peer-reviewed scientific journals, which have demonstrated the power of VINIA as a natural vasodilator. So with VINIA, we're able to significantly increase the dilation of the artery, allowing more blood flow and more oxygen and nutrients able to reach the body tissues and organs. And we're able to increase the level of nitrate oxide in the body and reduce the amount of ET1, allowing the significant increase in the overall dilation of the artery. Because of our science, we're able to make in markets like the US, which represents 40% of the dietary supplement market, we're able to make critical claims such as VINIA supports heart health by improving blood flow and delivery of oxygen. VINIA increases dilation of arteries and blood vessels. VINIA supports blood pressure within normal range. And specifically, we're also able to talk about the fact that VINIA is probably the best physiological way to get more energy, because as a result of the increased blood flow and oxygen to the body's tissues and organs, VINIA is actually able to improve physical energy and mental alertness. We have launched VINIA in the Israeli marketplace. We have built a very powerful direct-to-consumer business. We only sell it in Israel direct-to-consumer. And to give you some perspective, in Q1, we delivered just under $400,000 of sales orders, with a full year estimate of over 1.5 million in a little country just with 9 million people. And we will be taking these learnings and going and launching into the big market of the USA. We're coming to America, going after a $4 billion heart health supplement market, plus a $16 billion energy supplement market. And we're very excited that week commencing May 9th, VINIA will be available for the US market. And we're going to be driving a significant brand marketing, direct-to-consumer push as we start to build the pipes into consumer homes to start to layer on many of our other products we have in our superfruit nutraceutical pipeline. Very quickly on the cannabis vertical, we all understand it's a huge market, major opportunity across critical markets like North America. The current industry is fraught with constraints and inefficiencies, high capital intensity, very labor intensive, meaning high operating expenses. Production is seasonal and weather dependent. Product quality and consistency challenges. Product is susceptible to contamination. And many challenges around not having patent protection. Well, I'm very excited to say that with our biofarming technology, we are bringing a level of cannabis to the marketplace that the market has not seen before. Because of our process, we have fingerprint consistency. So we will be able to produce, when we bring cannabis to market in the first half of 2022, we will be able to bring to market cannabis, which is 100% consistency, fingerprint consistency, 100% clean, because we grow it in GMP environment, leveraging the power of our cell growth with a full spectrum complex of cannabinoids, a cost advantage the industry has not seen before, and a sustainability footprint that really will drive a leadership position in the industry. And I'm very proud to say, Spencer, that we are the world's leading company as it relates to growing cannabis in liquid media. And we're actually writing, if I could say, the Bible in this area, because there is no literature. We are the scientists that are driving this, and will be bringing a grade of cannabis to the market that the market has never seen before. We've already had significant milestones that we've been able to demonstrate as part of our commercialization. demonstrating the ability to grow in liquid media, the 6 distinct cannabinoids, the ability to actually grow cannabis cells in small-scale bioreactors with a profile that's identical, absolutely identical to the profile of the source cannabis plant. And we've also recently announced the ability to optimize the production of trichomes in liquid media, which is so important because the trichomes are the factories which actually produce the cannabinoids, the terpenes, and the flavonoids. The cannabis that we'll be bringing to the market will be focused in a number of areas. It'll be bringing unique competitive advantage for us to go after pharmaceutical and medicinal market, as well as with the consistency and the cleanliness to be able to provide cannabis that major manufacturers who haven't yet gone into this space because of the challenges around consistency and cleanliness will now have that willingness to lean in because of the quality and the grade of cannabis we'll be bringing to the marketplace. I talked before about being a purposeful company. Everything that we're doing is focused on being underpinned with a very strong sustainability platform based on our biofarming technology. We are working now to actually publish and promote a sustainability report at the end of Q2 or early Q3. We are developing our own ESG framework and an overall sustainability strategy. We're already as a baseline or best in class from a biotech and specifically a cannabis company perspective in this area. And we're obviously focused on continuous improvement in the future and to drive a leadership position from a sustainability perspective. So I'll stop now. Hopefully that answers the question around who we are. And looking forward to some questions, if there are any questions from the audience.
Yeah, I've got one here, Ilan, from myself. What kind of regulatory hurdles do you have to clear in the U.S. or more broadly, I guess, but in the U.S. specifically?
So, obviously, in markets like the U.S. right now, you're seeing a lot of deregulation. Fortunately for us, the ability to when you're dealing with non-CBD cannabis, so we're talking about high levels of THC, the legalities allow you only to produce and sell when you're actually within a specific state. So for us, from a regulatory perspective, the whole focus that you see from an industry, which is about actually having federal legislation and legalization of cannabis, is not a big deal for us. And the reason why, Spencer, is that because of the uniqueness of our technology, our ability to actually build a plant in key states, for example, in California, in Illinois, or major markets, our technology allows us to do this at a minimal capital cost. So the big challenge for many companies on the cannabis side has been around the legalization. For us, again, it's not a major impact. The other area where we're seeing a lot of challenges from a regulation is around the consistency and the quality of the cannabis. So again, this is one of the advantages where we're able to bring consistent quality and a level of cleanliness which will supersede where the current regulations are today and actually will lead the industry as far as what can be done, what can be achieved in ensuring that we bring in the best possible grade of cannabis for consumers, specifically in the medicinal area.
Right. I guess I meant for the vinea specifically, though, because
so on the vinea. Okay, now moving to vinea.
Yeah.
From a regulatory perspective, we are a dietary supplement. So being a dietary supplement, when the FDA has a very clear structure function guidelines where companies, if they have the science, they have the ability to make structure function claims within specific guidelines of the FDA. So what you saw, what I shared earlier, are structure function claims that are all made under the authority of the guidelines of the FDA. And obviously from our end, we have all the critical science to support those structure function guidelines. So this is something that's very important in the industry because unfortunately, the $46 billion dietary supplement industry is fraught with companies that are making claims but don't necessarily have the science behind it. And one of the critical focus areas of our launch is to actually lead the narrative and to make sure that the consumers understand that they need to actually ask the companies that they're spending hundreds of dollars on every single month. Are you soluble? Is your ingredient soluble? Is your ingredient bioavailable? Does it enter into your bloodstream? And do you have clinical trials to demonstrate the efficacy? Because unfortunately, in the US today, you have 80% penetration of dietary supplements across American households. That drives the $46 billion category. And a large proportion of that is ineffective. And people are not spending their hard-earned dollars in a way that's actually improving their health and wellness. And because of us being anchored in science, we're very focused to drive a leadership position in the industry and start to educate consumers on how they need to be looking at how they're spending their money in this category, ensuring they're only consuming products that have that solubility, have the bioavailability, and have the efficacy.
I got to say, points for creativity on this one. I've never heard of anything like Vinia before. So Ilan Sobel, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are out of time. I had some more questions, but you can engage with Ilan on our virtual app, so our virtual platform. So check out Ilan there.
Well, also, I say, Spencer, one last thing, if I may. If people have questions, they can reach out to me at Ilan, ILAN, at BioHarvest.com, or our head of investor relations, which is Justin at BioHarvest.com. We have a service level agreement of 24 hours to get back to investor or potential investor questions. And that's the way we roll as we bring on board our investor community as part of this exciting journey that we're on to really change the world.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ilan. Appreciate it.
Take care. Thank you for the opportunity.